covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, then you know we are all over it, baby. From Texarkana to the coast, Dallas down to Houston, and everything in between, we are ETX Rocks!
Hey, I'm Brian Chance, and thanks for tuning in to ETX Rocks.
Bullied very badly for a long time. After almost every class, I had someone waiting for me, tormenting me. Hopefully, me being here shows you that you can go through these things and get through them, in your life, and you can move on and turn it into something really positive. All right, y'all ready to have some fun? Put 'em up, put 'em on, put 'em on in the air. Wave 'em around like you just don't care. Got rock style over like an MC. Somebody scream!
Bullying, I would recommend him to any school within the state of Rhode Island, Connecticut, Mass. These are messages our children need.
Hi everybody, Tim Sharon here, and I would like to bring my anti-bullying program to your school. If you're interested, shoot me an email at nashvillehits@yahoo.com or just call me at 615-349-1833. Thanks.
Hello, music. This is Haley McDaniel coming to you with another fantastic episode of Haley's Country Tuesdays right here on the ETX Rock Show. And boy, do I have a surprise for you guys this week. Let me just tell you a little bit about Tim Sharon, our featured guest right here on Haley's Country Tuesdays. Country rock with a twist of lime. That's the best way to describe the concoction of musical style served up by Rhode Island native Tim Sharon. If you asked him to name some of his greatest influences, he would cite musical greats like John Mellencamp, Bruce Springsteen, Kenny Chesney, Eric Church, and Nirvana. However, one of the greatest influences on his life and in his music has come from Mother Nature herself, the beach. Growing up in Rhode Island was great, Tim said. Half the time we were in the city, the other half we were in the sticks. We were always summering at the beach in Rhode Island, and that's where I developed my fascination with the beach ocean lifestyle. And this lifestyle has permeated itself into the singer's sound, propelled to a career that has led to sharing the stage with Bret Michaels, Willie Nelson, Charlie Daniels Band, Rodney Atkins, Daryl Worley, and Randy Travis, and so many more. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Tim Sharon. How's it going?
Groovy, how are you?
I am so good. How's the weather in Florida, my friend?
Well, it's a beautiful, probably 75 degrees and sunny. I'm in Key West right now, and it's absolutely glorious.
Well, I can imagine so. For all of our listeners that are tuning in and excited to get to know you, Tim, let's inform them you spend half in Nashville and half of your time in Key West. I mean, what a life! I got to tell you, how long have you been pulling that awesome lifestyle?
It's been about 7 years. I used to live in South Beach in Miami, and I moved to Nashville about 7 years ago, and I spent one winter in Nashville, and
That was it.
yeah, I decided that I need to hit the road. So the way I started my whole career was basically grabbing my guitar and booking solo acoustic gigs all over the country, and just doing these little tours that I would just build on and build on and build on. And I'm from New England. I'm from Rhode Island, so I would go up there and I would play these little shows in Rhode Island during the summer.
Right.
And then I would come back down because I played a lot in the Keys when I lived in Miami. So I just basically took my markets and started doing these little tours and built them up every year. And
So now you have a fan base that knows, okay, it's wintertime. That means that Tim's coming back down to Florida, and they're all pumped for it. Like it's a known thing that as soon as the temperature drops, it's time to get back to Key West and play your shows there. I think that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it works out really well because the festival season in Florida is during the winter when all the tourists are down, and so it's really cool. We get to play now all these big, huge festivals. We have one coming up in Jupiter, Florida, and then we're playing the Everglades Seafood Festival for the 5th year in a row in Everglades City. Actually, we played with Rodney Atkins last year. Actually, Rodney ended up opening up for us just
Oh my
because of the
gosh.
way the schedule worked. So it was really, really cool to get Rodney's full audience,
Wow. Oh
for
my
us. It was
God.
really cool.
That's, I mean, thousands of people. That's incredible. So, wow, what an opportunity. So you've been able to share the stage with some of my favorite people in the entire world. That's Willie Nelson and how that came about. Where was this? Was it in Florida or was it in Nashville?
Well, actually, that was at a venue that I do a lot of things at in Massachusetts called Indian Ranch. They have
Wow.
been instrumental in really, really boosting my career. The first thing I ever did was I opened for Clint Black,
Oh my gosh.
and I wasn't supposed to. I love telling people this story. I was playing on the little tiny side backstage, and the person who booked it gave me all the wrong information. So
Oh my gosh.
I show up to play this at this huge, huge venue,
Yeah.
and to play this little side stage as kind of an audition type thing. That's how they do it to then possibly go on and open for a big artist.
Right.
So I show up and I'm an hour late and I don't have any sound equipment, which I always bring with me. But this booking agent told me, you don't have to bring sound. Don't worry about it. And I
Oh
was
my
flying to
gosh.
Key West the next day, so I wanted to keep the car light. So we
Right.
go in, and it's just it almost turned into a mess. So the stage manager is like, hey, we don't have a sound system, and you're late and everything. So I say, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So I just took my guitar
hmm
and started walking around and playing and serenading everyone at the
Oh my
picnic
goodness.
tables.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I sat on the picnic tables and sang to the ladies. And so the stage manager, who now is a very good friend of mine, from all this, he pulls me aside after I do this, and he goes, Tim, do you want to open for Clint Black?
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
I say, yes, John, of course I do.
Yeah, yeah. You totally redeemed yourself. You were an hour late, no sound. Of course, it wasn't your fault, but still, the music business is very unforgiving. But yet you were able to show your personality enough that well, I mean, it was a smart choice, honestly, for the stage manager. Kudos to him for being able to see true talent, especially somebody that can just improv that well. That's really cool. That's a great story. I love that.
Thank
So,
you.
did you
Thank you. Yeah,
did you get to meet Clint Black that time, or
not on that one,
yeah?
but and I always tell people, I always tell people, and I have I guess an interesting vocabulary, but I tell people who ask me for advice, I tell them that story, and I tell them, this is why you have to be a stone cold killer.
There you go.
When you always have to be prepared and ready, and have a handful of songs that that if literally this is exactly what happened. He goes, Tim, do you want to open for Clint Black? I say, John, of course I do. He says to me, okay, those stairs up there, go to the backstage. They go to the stage. They go backstage and then right to the stage. He goes, run up those stairs, plug in your guitar. We're going to sound check you, and then you're going to go, and you have 15 minutes to play. And he says,
Oh,
he goes, you have 3 minutes.
my
to get up
God.
there.
So it's almost
So
survival of the fittest, like eat, or what's the saying, kill or be, I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but
eat or be eaten. I
there
don't know.
it is.
Something,
Be eat,
something like that.
like here it goes, here's the timer on your mark,
Yep.
get set, go. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously you made it within the 3 minutes that you were allotted, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, and
Oh
it
my
was great.
gosh.
It was funny because I'm like totally laid back. I'm in flip flops. And I run up there and played. And from that, I have opened at that venue for Eli Young Band, for Chris Young. That
Wow.
was where I did Willie Nelson.
Oh,
Many, many people. I sang with Bret Michaels at that venue.
what? Are you serious? You like literally got to sing with them.
Yeah, we've opened for Bret, a handful of times, and one of the times he called me out to sing the encore, "Nothing But a Good Time,"
Oh my
with
goodness.
him, and it was. I'm getting goosebumps standing on the corner of a street in Key West right now, just telling the story. So, if you could imagine, there's 7,000 people. It's Bret Michaels' last song of the set. Everybody's going insane. The pyro's going off,
Oh my gosh.
and he calls me out to sing with him. It was awesome.
I mean, that's a dream come true. So let's go back a little bit. Now, you've been able to experience, obviously, some really crazy, almost too good to be true type stories. But come without a lot of hard work. And, I've been following you for a while now, Tim, and I know how hard you work. I know that you put in so much time and effort into your music, and you're talented, but you also understand the business aspect. So, tell us a little bit about how you decided to become a singer songwriter. Is that something that's always been in your blood? Is that something you just were born to do, or was it something that you came into later in life?
It was definitely something I was born to do. I started becoming obsessed with music when I was, I'd say, in sixth grade, and then when I was about 14, I started a what I call a goofy little rock band in our basement. My stepbrother was the drummer, and we grabbed a couple of our friends from high school, and we just started. We didn't know what we were doing, but we just kind of made it up as we went. And I started writing songs, at that time, and for the band, and I would write these full songs, verse, chorus, bridges, and they were, complete songs, and I had no idea how I knew how to do that, but
Yeah, you weren't taught. It's just something that come really naturally for you. That's a gift because as a songwriter, that doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes it takes a lot of learning. So you were
yeah,
crafting these songs. Was the rest of your garage band, were they kind of aware, like, hey, Tim's actually like writing really good original music for our garage band? Were they kind of like, was there kind of a separation of like, okay, this is for fun for us, but man, I think Tim might really need to do something with this. Could you feel that separation?
yeah, I did,
Yeah.
and it's how can I say this nicely? It manifests itself in
Hmm.
ways that you don't see coming, and uh, so I did kind of, I felt like I was kind of on a
Sure.
different path than the other guys in the bands and stuff.
Sure.
But all these years later, of course, I still talk to some of my best friends, like my stepbrother, of course, and one of my really good friends is the guitar player
Right.
from there, and it's interesting now to go and see and have them come to my shows. And
Yeah.
one of my the guitar player, I've had him as my stagehand for a couple of the big shows, and it's pretty cool. He gets to see. I think it was actually for a couple of Bret Michaels shows and stuff, and so he comes and helps out with me, while I'm on stage, with my guitars and
Right.
stuff,
Right.
and so it's kind of cool. He gets to see firsthand what I've grown the whole thing too.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be fun for them also to watch, on social media and see all the cool stuff that you're up to, which I can't wait to get into a couple of things with you in just a little bit, because I know our listeners are going to love what you've been up to as far as the big festival that you got to host. But like I said,
Oh yeah.
we won't dive into that yet. That's a little tease there, listeners, ETX Rocks listeners. Uh, Tim wants to do something really cool, and we're not going to tell you until a little later, so you'll have to hold tight.
So don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. That's right, or you'll miss it. We're talking about kind of the early years and being in middle school and high school, and diving into your music and kind of finding your passion. What I really think is super, super cool, Tim, is how passionate you are about your anti-bullying platform. Um, I just, it blows me away every time I read an article about it, or I see that you're heavily, heavily, heavily promoting anti-bullying, and you're reaching out personally to kids nationwide in order to spread this platform. So tell our listeners how this came about, and if there's a personal backstory that goes along with it. We'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. I just got off the phone with a school in Fort Myers actually, and I was telling the story. So it ties in perfectly to what we were just talking about. So when I was in junior high school, I was bullied mercilessly
Mm.
by one person. And so this guy I think he was a little older than me, bigger than me, and he would somehow wait for me after almost every class and just torment me.
Wow.
And like it was, I mean, it's hard to even describe, but if anybody's been through anything like, any kind of bullying in their life, you can understand. But it was horrifying. And at that age, I was, I don't know, 13.
Yeah.
And you just don't understand why somebody would be so cruel. And it all goes back to he liked a girl that I was dating or something like that.
Right.
And so it was horrifying, and it changed my life in a lot of good and bad ways. But I was an honor student when I went into the school. By the time I was done, I didn't even have grades
Oh
because
my gosh.
I could not concentrate. I was terrible I was just miserable to people.
Yeah.
I treated people in my family terribly because I was so terrified
Yeah.
of going to school. So when I was in school, I was terrified. But then on the weekend, all I could think of was, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to deal with this. When I was on a vacation, on Christmas vacation, or all summer, I would think, oh my God, I have to go back to school
Yeah.
in 2 months,
Oh my gosh.
So it ended up, I was acting out. I was not, pleasant because of what was happening. And I was doing stupid things. So, and unfortunately, my mom tried to help. We tried to go to the school, but they just didn't have anything in place to do anything about it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so I ended up, because of this bully, I ended up taking care of the situation.
Uh-oh.
But yeah. So that never happened again, and that was a good, very, very good life lesson that I don't want to promote anything,
Right.
but don't, there are definitely times in your life where you absolutely have to stand up for yourself.
Yes. Amen. I
Yeah.
completely agree. So how long, I mean, was this over a course of just of one school year or a couple of school years before
It
you just
was
finally had enough?
2 years, and
Yeah.
then actually the bully made the silly mistake of forcing me to make a decision, and that decision did not work out in his favor.
Right. Good.
So that's how I ended that. But by that time, personally and emotionally, I was such a wreck
Yeah.
that my mother was like, you need to go live with your father, you know?
Yeah.
So I basically kind of got kicked out of the house.
That was a
And
rough couple of years, Tim.
it
Yeah.
was very traumatic,
Yeah.
but there are a couple great things that happened. Number one, I moved in with my dad and my stepbrother, and we started a band.
Yeah.
So had I never been bullied and never gone through that and never gotten basically kicked out of my house to my dad's house, I never would have, I don't know if I would have started a band when I did. And there you go. That started my music career.
Right.
And then all of these years later, that's of course, that's why I'm so incredibly focused on spreading this message, because it's a no-brainer to me.
You've lived
It
it.
happened to me. I
You've lived,
lived
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and now I am on a mission to turn it into a very positive thing. And I'm working on I'm starting my own company where I'm going to have other people, because I can only be in so many places at so many times.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm totally transparent. I charge a fee for the performances and for the talks, and a way to make it even more cost effective for the schools, which all of them that I've dealt with have budgets for it, and they're
Okay.
more than happy to have
Right.
me go. But to make it even more cost effective, I'm gonna have people in my company that I handpick go and do the anti-bullying campaign at different schools around the country.
Wow, that's amazing. That's okay. So you're basically going to set up shop and have, maybe a couple of Nashville people ready to go in that area, maybe a couple of Texas people that you know and trust in in that area, and kind of start tackling as many schools as possible. Is that right?
Yep,
And then just really
exactly.
spread the message. That's incredible, Tim.
Yeah, and what it
Congratulations.
does is,
Yeah.
thank you. What it does is, like I said, I can only get, and I'm also touring full
Right.
time and writing and all that stuff, so I can only do so much. And it is a little more cost effective to have someone that is local go do the schools that are
Right.
local. And the other part of that is where, I'm building the company so that we can also attract sponsors, so that
Wonderful.
we can have, whenever we have a school that doesn't have the budget or that wants the program but can't pay for it,
Hmm.
I want a company that believes in the cause to say, okay, we'll cover the fee. You guys, go and do the
Awesome.
school. So if you can imagine how amazing that would be, any school
Yes.
that wanted us to come in and do this, we'll have it.
That's awesome. Regardless of budget cuts, regardless of politics, regardless of whatever's happening,
Yep.
that would be a foolproof plan to be able to spread the message to, and it's terrifying to me as a mother. I have an 8-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter, and I remember the middle school days really well. Fortunately, I wasn't ever put into the position that you were put in, but oh my gosh, are you having a party?
It's always a party in Key West.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. No, but I didn't experience that kind of treatment, and but you know what? I remember kids that did, and I remember being one of the kids that kind of stood over and thought to myself, "That's wrong. It makes me feel horrible, and something should be done, but I don't know what to do because I'm just a kid myself."
Right,
So
right.
there's so many lessons that can go towards this, and it's terrifying to me as a mother because it's just getting worse out there. I mean, the world we live in is just crazy, and it's not uh, pretty much every single day you turn on the news and a middle school age kid, 12, 13, 14 years old, have taken their life because
I've got to
it's
tell
something
you,
else.
right around the holidays
Yes.
now, within 24 hours, this wonderful woman down here in the Keys that works on my insurance. She handles all of my Obamacare insurance.
Yeah.
And the lady that books me at the Everglades Seafood Festival that we worked with Rodney Atkins and all that,
Uh-huh.
both of them within 24 hours had the same exact story. This is absolutely horrifying. Now they know that I do this campaign, so they both sent me messages.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them had in their family one of their sisters, and then I'm not sure who the other person was, but they're both the same age, 13-year-old boy.
Oh my
Both
gosh.
of them killed themselves.
Oh my God.
I mean, these are people, obviously that I know
Yeah.
very well, and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that kids they're actually ending their own lives because of this. So
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me crazy to do something.
Good. Well, we need more people like you, Tim, and that's the kind of drive and passion and positivity and love that this platform of yours is spreading nationwide is exactly what we need right now. And a lot of these kids, they just need somebody that understands them.
Absolutely.
Somebody that they can look at, and it's not their mom, it's not their dad, it's not their teacher, but it's somebody saying, "I've lived it. I got
Yep.
through it, and so will you." There is life after middle school, after high school, after college. What an amazing cause. I cannot wait to spread as much of anything that you share, Tim. Just know that ETX Rocks is behind you 100%, and we will be sharing your campaign as far as we can possibly share it as well. So,
Well, thank you.
absolutely.
I definitely appreciate it. And, of course, it's really important that we look for sponsors because, of course, funding is so important and can help us so much. And the coolest thing about the whole thing is that the program, it's very simple. I go into the school and I perform solo acoustic for the kids, and I get them singing and yelling and screaming, and they have the best time. I tell people it's the best time your students are going to have all year. Guaranteed.
Love it.
So it's a lot of fun. And of course, obviously, and I talk about the cause and I talk about what can be done. And, but the bottom line for me is like to go there and have such a great time with the kids, and they have so much fun. And then we get a lot of 30 to 40% increase in reporting after I go to the schools. So, and there you go. It's a win-win-win situation for me and so far for the schools. It's been amazing.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So you heard it right here on the ETX Rock Show. Tim's bullying platform, and we're going to share so many links and so many his website, of course, but then also he posts quite a bit about what he's up to with this campaign on his social media. So just be on the lookout, guys. We're going to share everything with you, and if you have it in your heart, if you're a business or if it's something that has touched your heart and it's something you've lived through maybe, and you would like to sponsor one of these. And welcome back, you guys. It's Haley McDaniel for Haley's Country Tuesdays right here on the ETX Rock Show with my special guest, my beach bum, country superstar, Mr. Tim Sharon. Tim, you still with us, or did you float away in the ocean?
I am still here in Key West.
Good. Hopefully having a little margarita or something for me. I sure could use one. That sounds really good right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's talk some music, Mr. Tim, because I know that you have been a hard-working man, just writing up a storm, and co-writing and all that good stuff as well. And this will actually be your fourth album. Is that right?
Yes, it'll be the fourth album. The last album I did was called Chasing the Sun, and I recorded it with the Jason Aldean Band. They're friends of mine in Nashville, and the next one will be recorded with the Jason Aldean Band as well. And they co-produced the last record, and we'll do the same on the new one.
That's awesome. So now you were telling me before something about that they were responsible for kind of discovering Thompson Square. Did I get that right?
Yeah, they helped launch Thompson Square, and they produced their first record, and they also produce Parmalee.
Awesome. Well, I mean, of course you're going to surround yourself with talented people because you're a talented people. So you got to have the best, especially with this new sound that you've been developing. And I absolutely loved your last album. It was
Thank
so
you.
nice. Yeah, I mean, it just really it represented you very, very well, I thought. So, tell me about your songwriting process for this new album and what our listeners can expect with this sound.
Well, the next record's definitely going to be a lot more diversified as far as the songwriting, because it'll be the first record that I've ever done that has any outside songs. Everything else I've done always been, everything's been written by me. So I've been writing with a lot of different people, of course. I did a whole series with Songtown with Clay Mills and Marty Dodson and everybody in Songtown, where everybody pitched songs to include on the album. And I'm still writing with people from Songtown from that series.
So awesome.
Coming up. Yeah, thank you. And actually, let's see, we had Amanda Cooksey submitted something, and Marty Dodson was who I love him because he wrote "Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven" for Kenny Chesney.
Oh, so good. Such a great song.
Amazing. So a few weeks ago, me and Amanda and Marty got together on Skype, and we wrote a killer song. So I'm pretty sure that one will be on the record. So
give me a title for that one. I mean, I am so nosy, and I am such a fan of Marty Dodson. I got to co-write with him, and is he not the best lyricist in the entire world? I mean, the man is like his lyrics. He has such a way with his words. It's just pretty incredible to write with him.
Oh yeah, so the absolutely, and he's the sweetest guy, just like Clay. They're just wonderful humans.
Yes, they are.
so it's just such a special thing to be able to work with them and to be able to write with them. The song title comes from Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
It was the title is Like the Tide.
Nice.
And, yeah, like you were saying, between the three of us, and especially with Marty's help, the lyrics are super amazing. I love story songs, and I think we turned it into quite the little mini movie. So,
oh my gosh, I'm excited. Like the Tide. Way to go, Amanda. That's a killer title. Good job, girlfriend. That's awesome.
Super cool.
For a long time how incredible Songtown is, and that if you guys listening to this, if anybody out there is listening to this episode that is a songwriter, or even is just kind of thinking about being a songwriter every now and then, you need to be on Songtown immediately, because what they offer is second to none as far as training and workshops. And like Tim was saying, there was this whole online featuring Tim and what he was kind of looking for this new album. And it was incredible. I was able to sit in on that class, and I learned so much about what it takes to write for an artist. And so you guys don't need to waste any more time and sign up for Songtown if you're a songwriter.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing about Songtown is it's the real deal, and I was, of course, honored to be part of that series. But the great thing about it is that they do real life things. When you're in Nashville and you're working on being a songwriter or an artist, these are exactly the things that you're going to be doing. If you're a staff writer, or if you're a writer and you're trying to write with artists to get on their record, that's exactly what they're putting you in those situations.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's real life, and they are definitely the real deal.
Absolutely. And there's something to be said about their honesty as well. I mean, they've got so much integrity as far as just being honest with their critiques, but in a loving way. You can genuinely tell that those guys just want you to be a better writer, and that's what it boils down to. So that's been really cool to see. Okay, so we've got Like the Tide. I feel like
Yep.
I'm going to try to fish out as many titles from this new album as I can.
Oh, so here's the other thing.
Okay.
I have had some publishing companies reach out to me.
Oh,
There's oh geez, John D'Agostino. Do you know John?
I don't think so. Not yet.
The name of his publishing company is escaping me right now. But great guy. I actually met him for the first time in Key West at the Songwriters Festival.
Oh, yeah.
But so he sent me about 15 songs, and there's one
Ooh.
that I'm going to put on the record. It's called Beach Town.
Ooh. Who's the writers on
And
that? Can you tell?
off the top of my head, the only one that I know is John
Okay. Gotcha.
D'Agostino.
Uh-huh.
But super cool song. I have songs that I wrote. One is called Shake, Rattle, and Roll.
Ooh, I like it too. This is going to be a fun album. I can
Yeah.
already tell. This is awesome.
And so
Tell me-
I have a song that I wrote with Billy Dawson. Do you know Billy Dawson in Nashville?
The name sounds very familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, great artist, great songwriter.
Mhm.
We wrote a song called Hotter Than a Pistol.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like a Miranda cut right there. Well, the way I think about it, hotter than a $2 pistol, but I'm sure it might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear. This is going to be incredible. So, do you have any kind of a release date in mind? Something you're kind of shooting for, or are you just going to kind of let the album evolve as it needs to, or what's your plan for that for releasing?
Well, my target would be July 3rd, right at the beginning of the summer.
Perfect.
My birthday, and I think that would be a perfect target to release it.
I think so too. Okay, so Tim, why don't you tell everyone to find you on social media and your website so that they can keep up with all the fun stuff that you'll be up to through 2017.
Well, real simple. TimCharron.com. TimCharron.com. Has everything, to go to my social media. But basically, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Those are my two favorite platforms. I'm always on Facebook. And here's the other thing. If you go to TimCharron.com and just sign up for our newsletter, we will automatically send you a free song, a free download. It will come right to you. It's the title track
Awesome.
to the Chasing the Sun CD. So go to TimCharron.com and get your free song.
That's perfect. I didn't even realize that. I've been missing out on having a free song this whole time. Actually, I'm just kidding. I've already downloaded your album, but still, that's nice. Okay, so then of course Twitter. You talked about that as well. Your anti-bullying campaign, is that going to be on your website? All the information for what you're doing with that.
Yep, we have a page on the website. So just go to timcharron.com and it says anti-bullying campaign. I'm also going to be launching antibullytour.com, but that's in the works. So just go to timcharron.com and we have a whole separate page. It has all the info. It has our really cool little promo video for the anti-bullying campaign.
Very, very cool. We've got a special little video that we're going to put right here in this episode for you to show you how powerful this anti-bullying campaign truly is that Tim Charron has dedicated so much time and effort and love to. So before you watch the video, I want to thank Tim for coming on the ETX Rock Show. You are just awesome and talented, and I'm so excited to see what you're going to be up to for 2017. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And guys, as always, thanks for tuning in to Haley's Country Tuesdays right here on the ETX Rock Show. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
Hey y'all, this is Darren Morris, and I want to tell you guys thank you so much for your support of ETX Music, and ETX rocks.
music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, then you know we are all over it, baby. From Texarkana to the coast, Dallas down to Houston, and everything in between, we are ETX Rock!